Okay guys, let's get started on our first lesson activity. So our first out of the box idea was to use engaging videos in order to teach your lesson. So I want to show you just a couple of things that I use and have used in my classroom, and then we'll maybe look at a few others. So the first one that I want to talk about, and I'm not going to know, I don't know if we really want to call them engaging videos, but I hope they're somewhat engaging, is that I use this Screencast-o-matic, which is what I'm recording on right now, to make my flip videos. And I've been doing the flip classroom for about 8 years on this, so I want to call it pre-COVID, that I was already doing flip videos. And I know a lot of teachers since COVID have gone to that. But let me just give you an idea of how I did it and what was some of the things that spurred me on, I guess, to do the flip video. And one was kids, not doing their homework, or the fact that there are so many apps out there today in which the kids can just plug in their math equations, whatever, and it will immediately solve it for them, and they don't have to do any work. So we've got two things. We've got apps that are helping them, and then we've got the good old-fashioned cheating that goes on, or the kids who just don't do their homework. And so because of that, I started doing the flip videos. And so my flip videos, they're not all the same. Some of them are like notes and vocabulary, in which we're doing maybe a foldable type thing, in which usually if that happens, I kind of do a preset for the day before in class, kind of get them set up. Maybe we'll cut it into the spots that it needs to be, or have it folded the way it needs to be, or so forth. Maybe even put some of the bold words in there, and so then they know that they just have to go in and watch it. And when I do that, then I usually will give them like the word, the vocabulary, or the definition of it, and then like an example of it. Not an example, so you might be doing like a foursquare even in there. So that's a little bit of one of the ways that I use the flip videos. And of course the other way is that I will give the kids examples. So it may be, let's say we just did a foldable, maybe even one day over the vocab, and maybe we're doing polynomials, and maybe we did monomial and binomial and trinomial, and then I gave them again the definition of, and then an example of what it looks like, and so forth. And then maybe another flip video could be of them, because I don't want to get it too long. 10 minutes is kind of a max on there, or maybe 15 at the most on there. But the next thing that the video might be is, okay, how do we add polynomials? And so, I might give them some examples of a monomial plus a monomial, and a binomial plus a binomial, so forth. And then we might do addition and subtraction. And then I would give them an example, and then I expect them to work through an example. Now, a lot of times when I do this, I do put it through Edpuzzle, and then that way we can actually, keep track of who does it. I found that works really well. And I can pause it so that then they can work the problem and type in the answer, and then they can see if they're immediately getting it correct or not with feedback. And then of course I do go ahead and work it through and give them the answers. And so I do it several different ways, but that's kind of how I introduce the topic and kind of give them some examples, and then to keep from doing the, as I said, the cheating or the using the apps. Then when we come to class, then we get out our whiteboards or notebook, whichever they prefer, and then we work problems together. I give them different examples, and one of the ways that I do it to then differentiate is that I may give them 3 different levels of problems. And so I may give some monomials and monos, and my monomials and binomials, or binomials and binomials, and so forth, in different levels. And then they need to do so many off of each level, or maybe if they're really low, then I tell them, okay, you need to do, they need to do more off of level 1 versus level 3. So forth. Or sometimes I do it where I say, I number them. So level 1 gets 1 point, level 2 is 2, level 3 is 3 points, and I say, okay, you got to come up with 20 points. And so it's up to you which ones you want to do. So, right off they figure out, well, I can do less by doing level 3 than if I do level 1. And so that just kind of gives them a little bit of a choice there. So again, it's kind of off topic, but that's using videos, engaging videos, again, to make them pay attention to the vocabulary. And then I find that also You know, a lot of times if you're writing the vocabulary on the board or you're just verbally stating and they're not listening. And so that makes them actually engaging in your videos that you make. So flip classroom, flip videos. And again, my choice is the Screencast-o-matic that you see here.